All right, good afternoon, traders. Welcome on back this Thursday afternoon, this Wednesday. Pardon me, I keep losing track of these weekdays. Martin Luther King Day just messed me up. Today is Wednesday, not Thursday. Great to have all of us though back here, at least January 21st still, though. At least I can get that right. Great to see Andrea, Sam, Larry. Great to have all of us though here inside our live trading room. I saw just before Leda, Charles, Margaret, Tim, had Brad, Phil, Mark just before, just joining us earlier. Genevieve, there too. A bunch of us at least earlier inside our live trading room. Hey, if you're joining us also on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., hey, I got my avatar there bottom left, but hey, popping up in front of that, if you're new to our channel, hit the follow, hit the subscribe button down there, just at Cyber Trading You. I'll tell you what, a couple of housekeeping notes here to begin. So I got to extend a huge welcome to any of our new trial members testing our room out from our Well 365 event that we just conducted. We have this huge event going across this whole week. Well 365, that is, and Fausto just presented on their wonderful platform earlier. So not even for the sake of, catching his replay and catching his presentation that he had conducted earlier, but you know what? Hey, for all of the other presenters that, went up earlier this week and then even coming up tomorrow and Friday, definitely check them out. So make sure to register at Well 365. Now, with that though, real briefly, if this is your first time in our trading room, if you're testing our trading room out for this week, coming off that wealth event, welcome aboard. Right here, this is a professional live trading room. We have students here like Phil and Kathleen and Tim and Margaret and Leda and Andrea and all of us here otherwise that have been with us for months, if not years, not just experienced, market participants and traders, in general, but they follow our strategy. They have been trained by us across months and years. They know what to look for in a lot of these trades that we're calling out. So as a trial member, you'll hear the man himself, Fausto, tomorrow just mention this. It is definitely best to just sit back and observe, put yourself in the passenger seat, just seeing like, oh, wow, this is something that's doable. This is something that's real and possible. And these people know what they're doing here. That's the purpose of the trial membership to our trading room. So there's always going to be a time and a place to make money. The market's not going, out of business anytime soon, at least, right? So I was going to say the market's not going anywhere, but technically it did go somewhere on Monday. We were at least off on Monday. But at least with that said, we got some news, don't we? We got some big news that just came out a moment ago, right before we started this meeting. And thank God, good news, because, we had a nice call out earlier on Bitcoin. It was a bit speculative. I wasn't so confident at first. And I was telling all of our traders here, it's all a matter of the reaction that we got to see. If we can get a strong slingshot into the close, into the afternoon, well, I become confident. So definitely we are off on a good start here. Higher lows. This is just Bitcoin, BTC, USD, and well, higher lows. That's good. And we were kind of struggling to make a local higher high. This was kind of what I was focusing on for that. And pretty much an hour ago, 50 minutes ago, an hour ago, I made that little break. And well, the hope is to see this make a nice move just for that reason there. And well, obviously, that's what we got. But news came out that helped this push. So Trump just came out. He's been talking all day, at Davos conference earlier on. I'll tell you what, I listen, apolitical comment here. I just got to say this. Like, I don't care if you hate him, love him, doesn't matter. You got to commend what this guy does in terms of the energy. I don't know how many people his age that could be speaking at Davos in Switzerland at 7, 8 a.m. Eastern time today. He had a whole little plane thing last night where he had to go back. They had to fly him back to fix the plane. And well, now he's doing another presser right now at this time here in the afternoon. Pretty crazy, right? I mean, I yap all day. I get paid to yap all day, but I tire out. He's like, he's got some high energy. Now, Trump said that he will not be imposing tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. That's the big news that just came out. So with that, hey, that's a nice move back up at least. But I'll tell you what, in terms of the real bull market and to get us up towards that 700 number, we were like pretty close. We got to at least see resistance hold better as support, and we got a ways to go to get to that. We might fill this gap sooner than later, but we got to look to try and see this resistance flip properly into support. We had it here for a little while, but then we had the big over the weekend gap. So that kind of spiked the number of our swing trades, at least. I got out on BBAI. I got out on RKT. BBAI went break even on completely. Just I wasted a lot of profit on that. Just went break even on that completely. I made like 4% profit, 4.5% profit on the RKT trade. But listen, I mean, when the markets were dumping off yesterday and then early on today, it wasn't looking good. You want to at least take some profit or manage your trades responsibly and maybe move that into other, positions. And that's where I'm in on Netflix now. And that's where we got the IBRX trade and Bitcoin just a moment ago. So listen, there's always going to be something out there. We did not expect this news to be coming out, at least right now. So it's good to have. And with that in mind, I'm sure there's a number of trades making this exact trend, right? Of course, I'm sure NVIDIA doing really good, up 3+%. Tesla's short squeeze right now, really good squeeze there. Amazon was a pretty strong chart of late, so that might have some good movement too. I mean, a lot of these stocks, if anything, Netflix is more within the news because of their earnings that came out. They actually had a double beat on their earnings, but they had a big pullback right away. So there was more to it than just the numbers. But hey, honestly, this might be something more up our alley. It's not up 5%, but it's more relevant based off news, and that injects a lot of volatility into the market here for this trade. And allegedly, it's good earnings. So I took a trade on this just earlier on this morning, shortly after the market opened up. We were talking about this inside our live trading room yesterday. Not everyone's always here all the time. So listen, if you weren't there to catch it in the post market, no sweat. I mean, I came off class. I came off the phase 1 course, and I'm just closing things out myself for yesterday. And Rich had this up on the screen, and it was dropping fast. And Leda was talking about it. Michael was there. Ooh, let me take a look here, see if there's some sort of entry on this trade. So much so, I ended up making a comment about this also to you on social media. Netflix down off earnings, would love to see the 82s get traded for a potential swing bounce. 4:05 p.m. yesterday. So pretty good move so far. And from 82.44, did anyone jump in on this earlier with me? Leda, Anton, Jerry, Bell, any of us get the Netflix from earlier on today? Not fully out of the weeds yet. Obviously, it's got to go back up and basically fill the gap from yesterday's drop off. Anton, you're in on the Bitcoin? Cool. Nice. There you go. All right. At least we got that. And I know Sam's in on the MSTU. I think that kind of correlates with Bitcoin also there, right? You know what? Hey, Netflix for the afternoon today. I don't mind just putting this on our main list here for right now. Come back to it tomorrow if it's looking good. And I'm going to remain in the swing trade until I tell you otherwise. At least it's off to a good start. All right. So what we got to do, we got to go from top to bottom pretty much here, because with this pop within the market, there's going to be so much that's up right now. So no better way to really sort this out by going across the percent gainers and losers list here and see what we got. PAVM now. So a lot of these trades from earlier done. So like the PAVM trade, it was building lower highs. Oh, I'm sorry, it was building higher lows, and then it was building lower highs. So it's kind of filling sideways. The support collapsed, and you knew that was going to happen. I think that stock had less than 1 million shares in the float. So probably same deal here on this NAM, 4 million shares in the float. Yeah, it's like really small. Kind of a no-name irrelevant company. And I don't mean to insult the company. It's just no one knows them. So what happens when the momentum runs dry on the way up? It's going to come scorching earth back down. Gets here, same deal. Boxel, this one I know for fact, because I'm sure I've taken a couple losses on this over my tenure here, but this is a historical pop and drop stock. Reverse splits, I'm sure, factored in, but I'm only just showing 2018. You can go back probably more, but yeah, a lot of these trades are just very heavily shorted. So once the bullish momentum runs dry, once the shorts stop covering, that's when the sellers can look to attack the trade again. NEOV. Nah, order book's not great. All right. This one's looking all right. American Resource, AREC, AREC. Good spread, definitely good order book. Iceberg here at 450. That's your resistance level right now. Top here. Definitely good trade. I add this right away here for our watch list. Oh, you know what? This might be one of those rare earth mineral, precious metal mineral stocks. Yeah, I think it is. Look at that squeeze up in October time. USAR, CRML, AREC. We never really traded the AREC here, though. Not as much, at least. It's got a nice resistance right around here. pretty much back from November, back from early October there. It's testing it. It's like kind of nipping above it right now as we speak. So it's a good sign. I like this trade. Nice. Actually, I got to put this over Netflix here because more within our price range, at least. Good liquidity. It's really tradable. All right. What else we got? I got to zoom out on this thing here. Just taking another look across the gainers list. Lucid LCID actually having a decent day there. I'm just going to skim it here pretty quick. Anything that's more of a no-brainer, I'm just going to kind of put on our watch list here, like NVAX at the highs. This is one we're even more familiar with, and I gotta go back in my chart here because this was a COVID stock. So basically, we ended up trading this back in the beginning of 2020, 2021 time there. So we do have our history with it. It is a pop and drop stock, so be wary of that. But nice trade for right now. NVAX. All right, you know what I got to do now? I got to separate NVAX from NFLX. Anyone with traders dyslexia here? You got to separate those two. Zura, ZURA, again, not terrible. There's a lot that's going to be looking pretty decent right now. I'd rather focus on a stock that has a pretty strong long-term chart. AMD certainly is one of those. So AMD is up about 7% now off of this move. It was up earlier also. But with AMD, you got this AMDL. That's the ETF that's cheaper. That would probably be like the more tradable substitute even. So I don't mind putting both on our list, but this is the cheaper version of it, the better kind of stock there. That's a buyout. True car. I'll tell you what, Moderno, this has been a beast to begin the year. Oh my God, I just noticed this early in the morning as I was on Twitter. I saw some like post and showing like the top stocks to begin 2026. Look at this thing. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I first took a look from 30 up to, well, this morning it was at 45. Now it's at nearly 50. So pretty strong chart. I'm going to add this for sure to our watch list here. Another vaccine company, quite frankly, that and Moderna. Was it like the anniversary of COVID? Is it like you're getting like the cyclical yearly short squeeze with like some of these like vaccine stocks, Moderna, Novavax, etc.? Is that the case? Bill, your F cell is doing really nice. Pushing back on up here. That's doing really well, actually. So wouldn't mind coming back to that at the end. I'm skimming through here pretty quick. I'm just going through things quickly. QS is pretty volatile right now in a good way. It has good volume, pretty volatile itself. Wouldn't mind adding that either. Obviously, MU, more expensive. I think you got MUU, $182. I mean, geez, I'd rather almost just trade the $392 one. It's just so out of our price range, but it's so strong. So how can you not put a focal point on Micron if you're looking to either just like scalp the calls or look to just trade tiny size on the equity? Another pharma stock, at least RXRX. This isn't half bad. I like this trade too. Chipotle at the highs. I feel like I got to add that for my job security's sake. No, I'm teasing. I did pretty good on Chipotle myself, but Fausto has been killing it on this thing. We both got out on this here, like when it was like probably around like here or so. And then once it rebroke 35, he jumped back in. I just moved on to other trades. There's only so much we could do. But I moved on to other stocks, and this just kept going. Beautiful move. It filled the gap and then some. So really strong trade. I know a bunch of our students are in this with Fausto right now. I'm just going to add it to our list. Why not? For a trade. All right, there's probably more that's up. There probably is, right? I mean, let me know if anything else looks good, folks. We'll hop over to the loser side though first. High roller, the ASTS trade actually is down right now, so technically that has been a pretty good short. Just more expensive though. Speaking of the precious metal stocks, at least the AREC, American Resource, that was on our watch list so far. That's looking good. CRML is down though. So clearly not as much of a sector play with that one pop. AREC is doing great though today. Planet Labs, that also had a bit of a dip. This has been a pretty strong long-term graph though. So, in due time, I'm sure it's going to build new support, consolidate for a couple weeks perhaps, and we'll see. All right, I'll tell you what, market's popping. So we weren't going to find too much from the loser side here anyway, right? I mean, just had to cross my T's, dot my I's, do my homework here. But again, any of us here in chat, Michael, Stephen, Barbara, Anton, Jerry, Joe, you got all of us here right now in chat. You got Bill. Let me know what you got. You got the NVDX, which is like the NVIDIA substitute right there, right? If you're going to focus on NVIDIA, NVDX would definitely be a good one for you. That would be a good trade then, right? Got a couple of us focused on NVIDIA. All right, you know what? If a few of us collectively in our room, are taking a liking to that NVIDIA, I'll probably just feature NVDX there because it's the cheaper ETF. It's on good volume. So you got to trade NVIDIA levels though to actually trade this thing here though. You got to focus on the NVIDIA chart to trade this. Anton on the Chipotle trade. Geez, zero DTE. They got zero DTE. I don't think they got zero DTE for that, do they? Because I mean, I know that they're doing Monday, Wednesday options for the Mag 7s. I think they announced that, right? I think they just recently announced they're going to start doing Monday, Wednesday weekly expirations on top of the Fridays, like to kind of even make it more zero DTE esque. I mean, kind of like one or two DTE, I guess, but oh, okay, gotcha, Anton. There, one of our members inside our trading room just chatted me there. No, totally understand. Gotcha. There makes sense. Does IBRX push through 675 up to 7? Did I not even talk about IBRX? I talked about it in the room. You got to join us inside our live trading room. Join us so you can see what Scott's asking about. Jerry, Anton, Leda, Brad, Charles, all of us here. I went through this whole meeting. Didn't really go over this, did I? I mean, I was just posting all about it inside the room. So I appreciate you bringing this back up again, Scott. I don't know if I would have finished up the meeting here with going over it. So yeah, definitely no brainer. IBRX back on our watch list here. I'm going to remain in this trade. I still have 75% of my position left from $3. Just popped over the weekly open price here at 654. As long as it stays over this line here, we're looking pretty good. So good shout. Just jump back to like Bitcoin here pretty briefly. We're already at 90.2. Love it. Oh my God, we nailed the bottom on this trade, folks. So again, even if you're looking at crypto, if you're not a Bitcoiner right now, you got the MSTU. That's the one that Sam and I were talking about earlier. You got that there. That's been a pretty decent trade. Good side list stock that's going up right now. Obviously with that, I'm sure like Robinhood's going up a little bit, so you could take a trade on ROBN. There is definitely alternatives outside of just Bitcoin itself. The biggest one would be IBIT. So if you were getting in from when we had called it out inside our trading room, it would have been right around this 49.60, 49.70-ish pretty much. And it's been beautiful since. Here's all of the commentary. Otherwise, this is just what you're missing out on social media if you're not joining us directly inside our live trading room. Just earlier today, just mentioned this at 12:21. I took a speculative position on Bitcoin at 87.4K. So that translates into where IBIT's trading at. That translates into where the MSTU trade that Sam is, looking at there. I think he's in that right now. Just good commentary across the day on not just Bitcoin, but across all these different stocks. So again, if you're on social, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., join us directly inside our live trading room. Go right down to the I got to figure out a way to get that banner to stop scrolling so damn fast. 2 days in a row there. I wouldn't be able to get to that link that fast either way. So there we go. Slowed it down for you. If you're on social, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., go right down to the link scrolling below, ctu.co/trial. Sign up for a week-long trial to our live trading room. Once again, if you're joining us from Wealth 365, welcome aboard. Hope that you enjoy at least the remainder of this week as well as next week included. We do a live workshop here inside this live trading room typically every Monday. I conducted it just yesterday because we were off this Monday. So we'll resume that this upcoming Monday next week. But you could actually take a look at that on our website. Go right to our website. You'll have access to our student portal page. You'll have access to all of the pre-recorded workshops, including yesterday's one, Traders Talk. All right, but otherwise, hey, join us again directly inside our live trading room. We're going to continue our audio commentary there. For all of our members right now, just stay tuned. We're going to post our list, and we'll keep it going here at least shortly after 3 o'clock.